Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Yeah, good South Florida Saturday morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Florida Talk Real Estate. We got you for the next 2 hours of infotainment. Thank you very much for being out there. I see ya. 92.1, 101.7, the old terrestrial radio. Maybe, just maybe, you're on your free download, your iHeartRadio app. We're worldwide at that point. Yep, take us anywhere. If you are, thank you. And if you're not, well, you can later if you need to. And we live stream as well. You can join us on the live stream. Cameras are all set up for you to enjoy on Facebook. Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. Florida Talk Real Estate LLC, home of a ton of informational chunk videos there on YouTube. Of course, a live stream as well on a Saturday. If you're there out the gates, awesome. If you're not, you can always join up. Thank you very much. Speaking of joining up, you can be a part of the program toll free at 877-927. Involved in the conversation at hand. Dial in. First voice you'll hear will be the melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire. This is my brother from another mother. Jimothy, what's up, dude?
Hello, and good morning, gentlemen. Always a pleasure to see you guys.
Hey, happy Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, happy Super Bowl weekend indeed.
Yes, my man. Good to see you as always. Johnny C, that's me, your old buddy, your old pal, your air traffic control on a Saturday. Let's go ahead and welcome in the very important people. Bring them in this way. There you go, Jimothy. Guiding in Ross Camaronets first with Brightway Insurance. Juno Beach. Ross, what's up, my dude?
Not a whole lot. That was a rough landing.
Didn't exactly grease it, huh?
It's either, you can tell, it's either an Air Force pilot or a Navy pilot, right?
Yeah.
Nice and smooth. They just drop it right down.
I came in hot.
We come in a little hot. Yeah. Good to see you. Kind of. I can't see you, but I see you.
I know. I can see parts of you.
Nice. The best parts, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can kind of see you on the camera too. That's weird. You're on like a live stream right now. You know that?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I can't see it.
Did you sign your waivers and everything?
I didn't. So
No?
you're going to hear from my attorneys.
Oh, boy.
I hope AJ Holman signed his. He's with experienceappraisers.com, and he's also on camera right now on a Saturday. Good to have you in studio, dude. How are you?
Thanks. Good to be here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to you as well. I see you a little bundled up. That's that Florida.
I'm a Florida boy.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
I'm cold.
I think I made a decision. I should have worn one more layer. My
You seem
decision
to
was
have a
four.
few.
I do, and one more seems appropriate because I'm freezing. It is brutal still. But always a pleasure to have you in studio. I'm glad to know that somebody's suffering with me. Jimmy D is not. He's short-sleeved. He's hammering away on the keyboard right now. He's a fearless leader for 14 years now. I've told you he runs our top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team with Keller Williams Innovations. It's Jim DePola. Jimmy D, you all right over there?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you, Jimmy, for fixing everything. I don't hear an echo.
I think I can see steam coming off of him a
Well,
little bit.
Mike,
He's been pounding away, getting ready.
At 8:53, I had everything all nice and set up. I came here at 8:20, 8:25, had everything all set up.
Yeah.
And then my computer died and went blank. And I was like,
No.
oh, man, I
And
got
that
to
was like
rebuild everything.
8:57, right?
Yeah, I had 7 minutes to rebuild, and I'm not techie.
Oh, techie
So
enough.
it gets me very stressed out. You guys, look, you guys need to bring some Ambien or whatever. I don't even know what that stuff is, but you got to give me something without I'm not going to deal with this.
I'm not going to
Ambien,
lie.
I don't even know what you use, right? Quaalude, whatever, right?
Oh, you want to lose?
Well,
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Who's got lewds?
I'm not going to lie. Watching Jim try to set up all the tech stuff is half the reason I come in.
Early.
It's so true. It's so bad.
This is awesome.
Hey,
This is free.
I do have something that I think is going to be kind of exciting coming up in a few weeks. In March, we're going to have our new operating principle for Keller Williams Innovations. And Keller Williams Innovations is the Boynton Beach branch of Keller Williams in South Florida. I think we got like Southeast Florida. I think we got like 12 branches or something. And each brokerage is owned individually, but they all pull their resources and their brains together to run this big international company we got. So Brett Caldwell is our new operating principal. I think he runs a team of like 1,000 agents himself, right? Like over multi-states, but he also owns a whole bunch of brokerages. I don't even know. The guy's just like master of the universe in Keller Williams.
Nice.
But he's going to come on our show in March, and we're going to talk about, from his perspective, which is really nice because it's more national. as to, you know, what he think is going to happen with the real estate market. We just had a really good end of the year banquet meeting with him. And what I liked about him, I had never heard about the guy before, but what I really liked him, he's a numbers guy. So he's a stats guy.
Yeah, just like you.
Yeah. So that got me really excited because, you know, that tells you what's happening with the trends and what's going on in the market to help your customers. It isn't just knowing the stats. It's like how to use the stats.
Yeah, how do you benefit from
Yeah. So anyway, really excited about that. Yesterday I found out it was a little bit of a surprise. So I'm doing this to say thank you to everybody, not to brag, because I don't like talking about this stuff, but I found out I was the number one single agent in my whole office. There's about 250, 300 agents there, and I was number one for individual production this year in 2025.
That keeps that team ranking up.
Yeah. So, you know, I did last year, I did crack up the team. Last year, I dumped some people that weren't working out or we didn't see eye to eye. Of course, I kept Nancy. Everybody knows Nancy Sargent Hoka.
Of course.
But it was a rebuild year for me last year, to be honest with you. And everybody that's working with me right now is working with me. Okay. I have a lot of really great things and great customers I'm working with right now. But I couldn't be in the production I am if it wasn't for the support of everybody that's listening to this show and everybody related to that. You don't know how many people I get calls from who don't even need to do real estate, but are saying, you got to call the radio guy to find out anything. So just thank you so much. I'm really proud of what we built. It's more about you than me. I don't like putting out all those posts about, hey, I just won. I don't know if you've seen them, but my Facebook is just filled with agents. You know,
I don't think realtors post anything else.
unless it's that, right? It's so crazy. So, but anyway, thank you everybody. If it wasn't for you guys, the show wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So thank you.
Oh, very well said. Yes. Thank you for the support over all the years. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing this show for as long as we have if it wasn't for the support of the audience and word of mouth for everybody that's been touched by this team in one way or another. Remember, this is a remarkable resource for you at floridatalkrealestate.com, a collection of pros. And thanks for leaning in hard. And the proof's in the pudding. The numbers don't lie.
I wanted to talk about, I just want to put out a kind of a little bit of a different shout out. We had a person named Michelle who came to the turkey giveaway for Thanksgiving with the Greek
penthouse?
and everything,
Yeah.
the penthouse. So she came and donated a turkey herself. And I found out later that she had a cute little dog with her, but she was homeless herself and she was giving away a turkey.
Oh, wow.
She called me during the cold season. She reached out by email saying she reached out about a month ago saying that she was still homeless and she needed a place to stay. And I didn't have anything that could work for her. So I told her to call this service called 211. And if people don't know about 211, you just dial it like 911 on your phone, but it's 211.
411.
Yeah, or 411. Thank you. That's a better example. You don't want people.
Yeah, 211 is probably more like a nice middle of both.
Yeah.
A lot of information that might be emergency needed, not like emergency services, but yeah, if you're homeless and you need a place to stay and the temperatures are about to drop like they are, you could call 211 in an emergency.
And there's suicide hotline and all
Sure.
kinds of senior services,
Lots of-
all kinds of
Yep.
things on that service. So I asked Michelle to call because I didn't know what else to do. She didn't ever respond back, so I thought everything was okay. And then during this cold spell, she was like, I really can't live in my car. And I don't know what to do. So I called 211. I got a lady named Kelly on the phone, one of the operators. She promised that she was going to call Michelle back. Michelle hasn't talked to me, so I just want to know if anybody out there has a room or something that they can rent out or something. Let me know because she can't do a traditional rental right now. And I'm hoping that the social services network here is okay, but we know there's so many cutbacks right now.
Right.
We don't know, if everybody's getting served. So if anybody can help Michelle out, please let us know. All you got to do is reach out to us through floridatalkrealestate.com or call
888.
I almost said 877. That's my pause. 888-973-7828. God bless.
Yeah, and I'm sure you could probably reach out on Facebook too, if that's
Yeah.
the only way you can do it.
Yeah.
Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook.
Yeah. So Speaking of that, let's talk about a little bit of a positive thing. The Palm Beach County, this ties in. Palm Beach County just signed a regulation that's going to allow people to build tiny homes in their backyard to help stem the tide of homelessness. And they have $500,000. I don't know how all this is going to work yet because I just read the article last night. It wasn't that detailed, but they have $500,000 from the fentanyl collection, collecting money from the fentanyl crisis, like seizures and stuff, police seizures and stuff like that. They're going to use that as seed money to allow people to be regulated to be okay to put tiny homes up. I really think that this is going to be a big trend. Remember, I talked about earlier, they say that this could help 1,500 homeless people is what they're hoping. But I'm more interested about the smaller houses and also those printable houses, the 3D print homes, right? I really think that's going to become the trend, or these modular homes where they build them on site, like in these gigantic warehouses, and they bring the sections over to your place and you just build them like an erector set at the property. I really feel like that is going to be the big trend to solve long-term our housing crisis, because I don't agree with everybody. And I know I'm the little leaf in a big windstorm of trees, but we don't have a housing shortage problem. We don't. We have a housing matching problem, that the houses that are available out there are not matching the needs of the customers. And that's where our big shift is. If you want a $5 million home or $1 million home,
Yeah, there's plenty of them.
yeah, there are so many out there. There is not a problem. It's the person. I'm dealing with a lot of people at below the median value for single family homes in, let's say, Martin or Palm Beach County. It's amazing. AJ and I are going to talk about this. I call it the tax trap, but it isn't really a trap. And we're going to talk about how the tax bill can just throw a mortgage payment so out of whack for the new person coming in compared to the old person that was leaving.
Right.
And it's so bad. So
I'm sorry, just real quick. Did you see that the Florida Senate passed the ADU bill a few days ago?
yes, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it fits
here.
in with
That's
that,
it.
with the small
Yes.
homes and the
Mhm.
secondary units.
So AD is accessory dwelling unit. Can you give us the definition of that, AJ?
Well, there's criteria as far as like what defines it to different organizations. For Fannie Mae, it's got to be a lot less significant than the main home.
Mhm.
Is the main classification difference, to where it's more of a separate income or a separate living space. That's not two single family homes on one lot that are the same size. One of those isn't really an ADU compared to, it's an accessory. It's a secondary,
Can you have a kitchen in those?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can have full living area. An ADU you need to have a kitchen if it's going to be considered an ADU.
I thought that like when I sell houses out in the acreage and they have that second property or a mother-in-law suite and they have the kitchen in, I was always told that the regulation in the county is it has to be a person that live in there has to be 55 and over to have the kitchen. Do you know anything
I
about
never
that?
heard that before.
Okay.
But I'm always looking at, this is the thing, it's according to who. You've
Yeah.
got Fannie Mae, federal guidelines, local, state, city, so
Mhm. That
that's
makes
the problem I always have with the bedroom. What defines a bedroom?
Yeah.
There's 5 different, organizations that say what it is.
closet.
Yeah, always the closet.
It's always the
Closet, window.
right?
Yeah,
Closet.
yeah.
Egress window closet.
Well, no,
Okay.
that's the new thing. The
Yeah.
closet isn't necessarily required at the federal level for the loans anymore.
Yeah. And that's why I think 3D printing houses is maybe going to take off for affordability. They're trying to make a national building code to White House and Congress is talking about this right now, where they're trying to make a national building code because they say one of the reasons why builders can't meet the needs of the public is, this is the argument, okay, is that the regulations are different for each city and
Municipality and
municipality, and you got to jump through all these hoops. So what might work in Des Moines, Iowa, is not going to work in Boynton Beach, Florida, and you're trying to build the same type of house. So they're trying to more regulate that. If you build these modular homes or 3D printed homes and they meet certain standard, the local municipality has to say that they're okay as far as the building code. Now, where the setbacks are and how big it can be and all that, I'm sure the municipalities be able to regulate that,
Right.
but not the construction part as long as it meets a certain national code. Now, I don't know how that's going to work with hurricane areas or
Sure.
high fire
Earthquake.
areas or
Mhm.
earthquakes. So
Yeah.
who knows? I really think it's a good idea though for some of it.
But isn't so? And I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
why would what's the concern about a builder in Des Moines building like? Don't we want builders that are here in Florida building in Florida? Like it just feels like the concern of making it harder for somebody that's not used to building in this state or in this county. That doesn't feel like the slip in for me.
Well, maybe I didn't describe it right. So when you say a builder in Iowa, are you talking about like the plant is in Iowa and they're building the house there and then shipping it over here to Florida?
Well, no, because you're saying making it more nationalized, so that-
Uniform, right? A
yeah,
uniform code.
right. So, but the builders that are building here, right,
Mhm.
regularly, they understand what they have to do. It's not there's no surprises.
No, I mean, look, if you're building in an earthquake area, the builder should be familiar with the earthquake,
Mhm.
They've been building
standards.
there, yeah.
Right. So I don't think he's saying that a home in Florida needs to be built to an earthquake standard. It's going to have to be regionalized, or they're going to have some special exception areas. But otherwise, a national code probably would help, streamline a lot of it for people and make it more uniform so that they can mass produce those ADUs in those facilities and know, okay, this one's getting shipped to California, this one's getting shipped to Florida. They got to be to different standards.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I really feel like that's the big problem is the disconnect between what's available, what people want or can afford. And the way you're going to fix that is either dramatic price drops, haircut. Nobody wants to talk about this, but that's how the cycles work. That's how a cycle works. You have a huge buildup and you decide that you're going to become a hippie. And then the next thing you're going into the Marines, right? And your hair is getting all shaved off. So the thing is that we got to go through those cycles, and we had a really high cycle. They don't last forever. So, but if we're not going to have that, then it has to be more creative, like these national uniform codes, or open up ideas of what would be considered good housing. Another thing that locally they're trying to do is really get investors, and they don't have to be big time developers, but to get investors to really build multifamily units, like 6 units, 8 units, 10 units, and like in core empty lots all around the county. And they're trying to really push that too, just to have more availability, even for apartments, so that the rent prices would come down with more availability.
But the money's in putting up a $4 million mansion, so that's not what happens.
So let's
Bingo.
get in. I'm sorry.
Bingo.
Yep.
That's-
Let's get into what 3 things that we're going to talk about today, and we'll get into the rest of it. So 3 things we're going to talk about today. Number 1 is understanding your tax bill, right? We got AJ here from Experienced Appraisers. We're going to go over like how to understand your tax bill.
Nice.
And this all ties into affordability. We have 2 really great examples. AJ found one, I found one, just in our everyday worker bee lives, of really good examples of how the tax bill can really strip people out, which we talked about a little earlier. We're going to talk about the tear down neighborhoods. Remember, we talked about Marley and Me and the Millionaires in that one house? Well,
Right.
what AJ did for us after the show is he went and found a whole bunch of neighborhoods just like that throughout the South Florida area that are experiencing this. So what we mean is people are coming in and buying these 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old homes just to buy the lot, tear them down, giving the owner like $1 million for the lot if it works, and then putting a $4 to $5 million estate on the property. So you become an instant millionaire. And there's way more neighborhoods that this is happening in than AJ and I thought. So we're going to talk about that. And then Ross, we got some really good stuff with Ross. Good news. I'm so happy that we get to talk good news with insurance for a while, because it was like the winter is coming for so long in the insurance industry.
Yeah, it was
But,
freezing back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ross got 2 great things. First of all, we're going to talk more about how Ross is trying to save customers huge money. And he has a big goal that we're going to talk about today, and how he wants to get there and what that means to you, how you can save money. We know he's well along the way because we've had people that have already told us they've saved a lot of money with Ross
Sure.
this year. And the second thing is there's been some announcements about car insurance that is really good news for consumers. And the last thing about insurance is the legislators are trying to decide, are we going to try to tackle the insurance crisis again during this most recent legislative session and what that might look like. So those are all the things that we're going to be talking about today.
Excellent.
All ways to save you money or understand what's going on. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, understanding these tax bills is really important so that you understand what the buyer's going through when you're putting your house on the market. And saving money with insurance is always a good thing.
Key. Absolutely it is. Always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, your one-stop real estate shop. Access to the entire team a click away at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Of course, if you're more interested in being a part of the program, you're always welcome. We are live on this Saturday. It's the 7th today, I believe, of February. 877-927-6969. Always willing to take your phone call. In fact, more than happy to.
What is wrong with me that I have not been cold through this whole thing? I mean, I put a jacket on a couple of times, but Johnny is sitting here literally shivering in the
cold.
chair. It's like
I just found out that I don't have a heater. My central air doesn't have heat. We replaced it a couple of years ago. My wife's like, "What's going on? Our heater's broken." I don't think we have a heat strip.
So you found yourself where it was cold enough. You're like, all right, I'm putting on the heat.
No, not me. My wife.
Oh.
I'll just grab an
another
extra blanket or some socks or whatever. I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Mine came on for the first time, the very first time during this. I want to say it was last Sunday. What was that cold?
Yeah,
cold
it was.
day?
Yeah, it was rough.
Very first time, had that little burn off, and then
Yeah, the hair. You always get the stinky hair.
the very first one. We've
Yeah.
been there.
Or lint,
What have we been
I
there?
guess.
11 years, 12
Yeah.
years, almost 12 years.
have you ever turned it on
Never,
before this
never,
time? Never.
Ever, never.
I had to scrape my windshield to go to work.
No.
I did too.
I did.
Monday.
Wow.
What did you use? Because I didn't have an ice scraper.
Credit card.
Right.
Credit card?
Yeah.
I didn't think
Ah.
credit card. I had recycling in my back seat, a little plastic that kind of worked a little bit.
You know,
It was thick on my windshield.
yeah. You know, when you go to the gas station, you can wash your windshield. I have one of those because my window always has dew on it. And that's what caused the ice this time because I had so much dew and it froze. And I was just surprised. I figured I was just going to wipe off the dew like I normally do. And
Thick.
I have to scrape.
Yeah.
This time I had to scrape.
Dude, I was shocked myself. I was like, no way.
This can't be real.
But then I realized how much I was shivering and how many layers I had on. I was like, all right, it makes a little bit of sense, I guess.
That's so funny.
And Jim's over here like, I don't know. I'm just not even cold.
Well,
Yeah.
our heat died too in my mom's home, and I was not cold through the whole thing, and she was just freezing. It took us like 3 days to get the AC guys to come out. Right, we had to get 2 companies to come out before we got it fixed. But a lot of people, they were telling me, AJ, a lot of people don't even know that they don't have heat in their AC system.
Yeah.
They go to turn it on and they don't have any heat.
Right.
because
Well,
it
you
wasn't
figure it out
designed-
once a decade, but then you forget
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
I'm going to
Yeah.
forget tomorrow and I won't think about it again.
I know, it's so funny.
So it's just like, so I grew up in California. We didn't have air conditioning. We just,
Yeah.
it-
Yep.
but you moved to Florida and you're like, oh, yes, everybody has
course.
air conditioning.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I know.
Yeah.
It's,
Weird.
so while
Why would you have a heater?
speaking of the weird weather, you know about the whole raining iguana things that's happening all over.
Oof.
There's 2 extremes I'm seeing right now on the news and Facebook stuff and everything, right? So you have the one extreme. I saw one lady who was collecting all the iguanas from her yard and then bringing them into the
Oh,
house in the
no.
garage and heating them up,
Oh,
so that they were
In
all
the
live.
house?
Yeah, yeah. So
I
you
mean, if
have
it's
that
a little one
extreme,
and
right?
you're like, I'm going to raise this one. Okay, cool.
So we have
Yeah.
that extreme. And then the other extreme I saw last night would make me laugh is a pizza place down in
Oh,
Dania.
yeah. I saw that.
Did you see that?
Is that
Yeah, yeah.
real?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
real.
It's real, but they're not selling the pizza. So
You got to bring
let
the
me-
iguana in.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they found a bunch of
BYOG?
iguanas. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
bring your own iguana and they'll make you pizza.
BYOI?
Yeah.
Will they?
BYOI.
Oh, I didn't get that part. What I saw in my news clip that I saw from it was that they found the iguana meat. They were using the iguana meat to make the pizza, but they weren't selling it. It was just more of a
A gag or something?
yeah, like an
Yeah.
advertising thing saying that we've got. They call it Everglades pizza.
I heard.
Oh, that's perfect.
I heard on the
Yeah,
penthouse.
that's
I heard on the penthouse that there was a pizza joint that if you brought in iguana, they
They'll
would put
cook
it
it for
on
you.
your
Oh,
on your
that's cool.
pizza.
That would make more sense.
And they said it tastes like frog.
Like frog.
Yeah.
Frog tastes like chicken, so you're
So-
back to chicken again.
We're always back to chicken.
Yeah, always at the
Always
end.
back to chicken.
I don't know if I want to
mean-
eat where the iguana, like the iguana meat next to. I don't know. The iguana meat just kind of gives me this.
Throws you off.
Ugh,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
like,
I don't know.
hey, let's prep that somewhere else.
Yeah, they seem a little dirty.
I was gonna
Pi-
say, what do? They skin it and cut
They
it up,
sh-
butcher it there, and cook it somehow.
It kind of
and-
looked like that
From what
when
I
they were
understand.
carrying the skinned iguanas and everything. That's the way it looked, because you saw in the news clip I saw, they were holding 2 iguanas, and that was the meat that they were going to be putting on the pizza. So-
Ross, if it was 20 times bigger, you'd be lining up for dragon meat.
I don't know if I'd be eating dragon meat. I don't
No?
know.
Oh, I'd like to try dragon
I mean,
meat. That'd be
if
great.
times got tough, yeah, then I would dabble in some iguana and maybe some dragon meat. But
No, they have another Everglades pizza over there that was before the iguana pizza, was this alligator tail pizza. So you could put alligator
Oh, that
on
makes
your
sense.
pizza too,
Sure.
right? Would that freak you out if alligator
I've
meat
had
was
the
next
alligator
to?
tail. I've had the alligator.
I don't think the
tail.
texture
Just-
matches.
So you'd be okay with alligator meat next to your cooking,
But
your
allig-
stuff being cooked, but iguana, that's the line in the
That's right.
sand.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
okay.
The alligator's cleaner somehow.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny. Only in Florida, right? So we're past. I always like when they come out with new regulations and how you're supposed to kill the iguanas humanely. That
Right.
always makes me laugh about that. 'Cause
Right.
there's so many rules in it,
Oh,
right?
I'm sure there are.
You know, on Tuesday at 4 p.m. you could do this, but not on Sundays at 5 p.m. You can't do that
I
anymore.
would have the heart to do it.
Yeah.
I know they're nothing but a nuisance, but I dig them.
Well, if you had me too, I like them too. But can you imagine? Like I saw on the West Coast over by Fort Myers or something, there was a building there that had been abandoned, and the iguanas took over, and they just are. It's almost like they don't need a wrecking ball. The iguanas are destroying all the concrete in that building
Yeah,
inch by
that's
inch, and they're
terrible.
just.
I mean, that
if
in
you
that
let it
case, I
go.
guess it's probably a good thing.
So
but
if you had a
if there's
seawall, you would
seawalls,
not be
yeah, that's
happy
not
with
a
an
good-
iguana.
And I
What
see
do
a
they do
lot
with
of those big
concrete?
ones on seawalls. When
Yeah.
I'm doing appraisals for empty houses along the waterway, sometimes there's huge ones back there.
it's
Yeah.
not a great sign.
What do they do with the concrete?
They just chip it away, right?
They just destroy it. I don't know. They don't eat it. They burrow into it and do stuff. I don't know really. I don't know why they'd be doing that, but they do. And it's known as very bad for concrete. So they had hundreds of them, and it became we talked about this a few months ago. It became a tourist thing where people would come over, the tourists would come just to film all the iguanas that were here. It was like, it became known as a spot. And then the county got in, or the city building department came in. It's like, this gotta end. So anyway, kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and take a break, Johnny, if
Let's
you
do
don't
it.
mind, so you could warm up, maybe get some hot chocolate or
Hey,
something.
there's got to be a warmer spot.
Maybe you should sit here and I'll
Scotch.
sit there, because I feel fine over here. It's nice and toasty over here.
So and when I was getting my coffee, I'm like, give me the cold brew, and I'm like, no ice, thinking like at least it won't be freezing cold. I don't know why I didn't just get a hot coffee.
Hot coffee, yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
you can put a turbo shot in a hot coffee,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I mean it's all about the turbo shot.
Can we do an Uber for hot coffee?
Definitely.
Maybe we could do that.
sure.
Maybe we'll do Uber and get one of those gallon coffee things.
Anybody driving around? Stop by.
Yeah.
Just go jog around the building for a minute here. Thank you for being with us on a Saturday. We got plenty of time remaining. You're always welcome to join us toll free at 877-927-6969. Ton of information coming your way. And of course, you're always welcome to join in. If you got a question, comment, concern, don't be shy. But of course, if you're not comfortable on the radio, believe me, I understand. You can always go to floridatalkrealestate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros, the experts you'll find at floridatalkrealestate.com on Facebook and YouTube. Consume away. And always remember, floridatalkrealestate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us on a Saturday. You ready, Timothy?
Yep.
All right. Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
The visual aid you need for all the freaky stuff we talk about on the radio. Find it at realradio921.com. Real Radio weather.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. It's going to be a pleasant remainder of your Saturday. Nice sunny skies will continue. Still a little bit breezy, not nearly as windy as the past few days, though. Humidity stays low. Highs this afternoon, low 70s. Could see a few areas struggling to get out of the 60s once again. pleasant conditions overnight as well.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title, that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation, because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah,
He's
you can
so
do
cool.
just that. 877-927-6969. Dial on in. Freezer's available.
He's so cold.
Oh, it's ridiculous. My toes are freezing. I have 2 pairs of socks on.
Wow. What is wrong with me?
Or what's wrong with me? I don't
My
know.
mom keeps asking me because
Yeah, you've lived here longer.
Yeah,
than
you're
me.
probably going to live in an ice cube.
yeah, I know. I feel bad. It was 74 when I left.
Oh, 74 is all right.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's not bad. I'm Johnny C. Timothy's our producer extraordinaire. What's up, dude?
Hello, and good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. He's in the warm side.
Yeah, well, it is.
It's
warmer
totally
over here.
It's nice in there.
Put your shirt on, dude.
Okay, but I'm not putting my pants on.
Oh, man, I'm gonna leave it alone. I can forget the show I'm on sometimes. Ross Camaronets is right here. He's with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. What's up, Ross?
Not a whole lot. Trying to stay warm over here too.
I understand, my dude. Believe me, I AJ Holman's with us. He's with experienceappraisers.com. How are you, my friend?
I'm feeling nice and toasty with my
Getting
little
there.
long sleeve here.
Getting
It's
there.
sufficient.
Glad it's coming around for you. At 11, I will be standing where Jim D is in the locker room. At least I know that it'll be better then. Yeah, so
Hands on or off?
I have that. Depends on how warm it is in there.
74 right now.
74 pants might come off. Ross.
Nice.
They might.
Nice.
Yeah, they might.
Leaving the camera on.
You have a camera down there?
Damn right.
How do I get that stream?
I'll show you.
All right, thank you. Jimmy D's over here going, yeah, yep, that's exactly right. Thanks for bringing that up. The camera under there, nobody's supposed to know about.
Yeah.
He runs the top producing Keller Williams team, Florida Home Pros, Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jimmy D. Jim DePola, how you be?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Happy South Florida, everybody. Hope you're trying to stay warm.
I look over and you go, hi, Mom. The timing. Timing is everything.
It is. It really truly is.
Just a couple comments from people listening to the show. Jesse, is it just Jeep? I'm sorry, my eyesight's horrible. Jeepsy, Jeepsy is saying that these tiny homes sound like they're going to be like modern huts, and that's what people are considered to be affordable homes. Which, that's one thing. We might have a definition different of your first time home. Might be one of those. For some people, it might be those tiny homes is the home you do to step up into your next.
That would have been a lot
property.
better than my sleeping arrangements at 19, let me tell you.
Yeah, that's true for me too. Actually, AJ, that is. So
I have a
true.
buddy that lived in a walk-in closet. I'm not kidding.
And
Did he rent that or was that free?
Well, no, we charged him rent. It was in our condo.
Oh, that's awesome.
Every space, every 10 feet, every 5 feet, you got to charge for that.
Hey, I'll tell you what, the walk-in's not terrible,
He liked it. He had an inflatable mattress in there, swear to
doctored it
God.
up, I'm sure. I my algorithm is amazing. If you ever went down, just flip through for 20 minutes on one of my socials, I'm basically only on IG. You'd be like, dude, what are you? This thing doesn't understand. It's totally lost. I saw this thing the other day. So the shipping containers.
yeah,
All right. So this guy took shipping containers and he made like a star out of them. So he had four of them in the corners and they kind of come together and then they built in the middle to tie it all in like a house. It looks like
Yeah,
a
like
house.
the second story and the framing. And
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then it all comes together and they made the wings with the containers. Man, that looked sweet. And then obviously they did a ton of work interiorly. The walkthrough on that thing was gorgeous. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of money dumped in. I think they said it was only like a couple $100,000, which was pretty phenomenal actually for what the space they had when it was all said and done. I don't know how they quite do that for $200,000, but it was really cool, innovative type thinking. And I know that's not superly innovative. People have been using those shipping containers for everything, but pretty amazing.
and that's a pretty good example. I knew somebody that was building those container things in West Palm area.
yeah,
right?
they make some neat ones.
I'm sorry.
They make some neat ones.
Yeah,
My buddy
but
got a
he
sweet
was
one and dropped it in his backyard.
Yeah, he was
It's real
the-
sweet.
These were actually buying the lot, tearing down the house, and putting in a container house, right? And then reselling them as they were flipping them. And West Palm was having a problem with the building codes, and I don't think it went very far. And I was like, that's a little disappointing. I saw one in Tucson, Arizona, on a video where it was a whole apartment complex built out of shipping containers, and it was 3 stories high.
Huh.
And they had a whole bunch of apartments in it, and they built it that way and was designed that way.
They've got a commercial project in Vegas that's like that too, right off the strip.
Interesting.
I saw something like that for stores, like for
Yeah,
like a
for
store thing.
commercial.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
artists and stuff like come into there. Yeah, over
Yeah.
in downtown area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been there. They had that machine that shoots the fire out that looks like a
Dragon. We
yeah,
get
or
more
something,
dragon
a
meat.
Dragon or I was gonna say a praying mantis, but let's go with dragon just for Ross. Hey, so let's get into I want to use my example first, and then I want AJ's example, understanding how property taxes when you're buying a home can be so shocking. And it happens over and over again, and people don't understand how the Florida tax system works for houses, property taxes. So I had a couple that was interested in buying a home, and they're at the upper end of their budget, right, of what they're looking for. So I always, besides what most people do is they take the tax bill that's there right now, the 2025 tax bill that's in the property records. They plug that into the mortgage calculator, and then you estimate what the insurance is and your principal and interest, and you come up with your mortgage payment. And then that tells you whether you can afford the house or not. So in this case, Mike has this couple is with Mike, the mortgage firm, Mike Rao, right? He'll be back next week. And he has this great mortgage app that's customized for each person based on their numbers, not just a generic thing. So I'm always really careful when people are at their upper limit. So now I calculate the tax bill as it sits, and based on that tax bill with their interest rate and their down payment and everything, and the seller concessions they were going to get, their mortgage payment, I'm making up numbers here, it doesn't matter. The mortgage payment, let's say, was $4,000 a month, and they could afford like $4,500 a month. So like, oh, this is awesome. Love the house, for that price, less than what my limit is.
Yeah, winning.
Yeah, win, win, win.
Yep.
I say, okay, well now let's go ahead and go to the tax collector, the property appraiser, and go to the tax estimator of what you are going to pay on the tax bill once you buy the house. So we plugged in the address, we plugged in the number for the house, like how much we're going to pay. And then it asks you, are you homesteading or not? We click yes. And then we say, do you have any portability? Meaning, are you moving any money from a previous house you owned that was homesteaded and moving it over?
Oh, they
Okay.
have that right in the algorithm, so to calculate it. Huh?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So I
Nice.
well, Palm Beach County does.
They do?
Not all
Okay.
of them are the same. Some of these are pretty lame. I cover 6 counties. Some of these property appraiser sites, they're lame. Palm Beach County is a good one.
And
Excellent.
that's a testament to how much of a problem it is that they felt it necessary to put that up. And it's a great tool. It
Okay.
is.
So I clicked the button that we don't have portability because these people are first-time home buyers.
Oh.
So the first bill was $3,400 a year for the old people.
Who have been homesteaded.
Now, what do you think the new couple, my couple, were going to pay for that same house?
What was the purchase price?
Let's in this case, let's just say $550.
I'm gonna say 900
Anybody
or
else?
9,000. Excuse
That-
me,
yeah,
9,000.
9,000.
I know you
Yeah.
meant 9,000.
2% with a little bit knocked off.
Yeah.
That's about what I would have thought too.
All right. Yeah. I'll follow
You,
their
you
lead.
guys are
Yeah.
pretty good. You guys are good. $9,800. So $3,400 to $9,800. So then you plug in
they're
that
actually spending
extra money in there,
$4,500,
right?
yeah.
You plug it in. Now they're not approved for the mortgage.
Yeah,
But
beyond
here's
their-
the dirty,
beyond their means.
dirty little secret, right? And then we're going to get into AJ's example. Here's the dirty little secret. You'll still be approved for that loan under the example I gave you
Right.
Right.
because nobody really knows what your new tax bill. They base it on the current tax bill, the mortgage company.
They know. They just choose to ignore it.
Yes.
I'm surprised that hasn't been a rule that
Me
you
too.
have to qualify off.
Well, to be fair, if Mike were here, only because I've listened to Mike now for 10 years, so I almost feel like I know a little bit about all you guys, Mike would say, well, that's not exactly crystal clear true. If I see a problem as a mortgage broker that this will be an issue, I definitely have to talk about it. Mike talks about it with everybody anyway. That's our policy. But if he was the type of mortgage broker that wouldn't, he has an obligation to do that ethically, and I'm sure with his regulations, because if the person is not able to keep up the mortgage and the mortgage, I think, dies, like if the mortgage goes belly up in 18 months after you closed on the deal, Mike can get in trouble. The mortgage broker can get in trouble for closing that loan.
Yeah, because he didn't provide his due diligence to show you what your true cost was going to be.
Mhm. But a lot of people don't. We had somebody in this station that just went through this and came to me after they bought the house and said, I don't understand why my mortgage payment is $1,000 a month more than when I started with when I bought the house 9 months ago.
Well, let me explain it to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And when they called the bank didn't give them the right answer at first. I'm like, that's not true. And then when we went over everything and I was on the phone with the bank with them and found out that the first person was wrong about their information and that the information we calculated was correct. for
Yeah,
him.
well, and it's a great example too of this is somebody that knows they have a remarkable resource that they can go to in this case and chose not to and chose poorly. right? They went to a source that wasn't going to give them every bit of education along the way. They made a decision based on some other aspect. I know them. Or it's and look, those decisions are made, and sometimes, unfortunately, they backfire on you. That's why you got to go to people that are great at what they do, not just good at what they do. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, and it's frustrating to know that this person knows this resource.
No, I don't want to go
Hey,
there.
you don't. I'll say it. Hey, step in it if you'd like, and then come to us to try to fix it. That
Yeah, we
makes
cleaned up
perfect
the
sense
mess,
to me.
right? That should
Yeah,
be our motto.
Makes
We cleaned up
perfect
your
sense.
mess.
Yeah,
I'm always amazed at how many realtors don't point this out, go over it. And you're right, because Mike did that with one of my clients, where he said, look, we don't know for sure, but this is what the projected cost is. If not advising people about that is the most annoying thing that realtors do to me, that in my opinion.
especially if they don't know, then
They know. They just
Well,
don't want to
no.
bring it up because they want to make the sale.
That's
AJ, a
the
lot
worst
of
part.
them don't. I hate to tell you, a lot of them don't. You got to remember, 900,000 agents
Didn't
licensed
sell a
agents
house.
last year didn't do one
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. It does.
Out of
It's
1.3
worse-
million.
It's worse if they do know and don't share it.
Right.
That's
Like
bad.
that's
Yeah,
disgusting.
that's bad.
It's really bad if you don't know because you're not educated enough to be really.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one's worse.
I think the one that holds the information is worse because you're
Yeah,
you are
you're doing it
motivated
intentionally.
to do it for the sale.
Yeah,
You're withholding information that may actually stop the sale from happening.
There's legal definition for that. So one is misfeasance. That means that you didn't know what you should know, so the person got in trouble. And then there's malfeasance, which
Oh.
means that you did know and
Right.
you didn't care because you wanted to close the deal.
Right. I
Interesting.
mean, but is that even, because again, there's no clear, definition of what those taxes are going to be. So if you're intentionally
they're-
withholding that information, then you're not, what are you withholding?
You're withholding the website for them to go into and simply find out.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, I get a lot of my clients call me and go, hey, my mortgage payment went up and I called and they said it was because of my escrow. Why did my insurance go up $100 per month? I'm like, huh? And I look and I'm like, your insurance went down. And they're like,
Your
well,
taxes.
why did my mortgage payment go up? Well, it's probably because, and I explained it to them,
homestead.
when you're
right.
your mortgage payment, when you initially get it, it's based on the current owner's tax, and I explained it to them. They're like, well, I have no,
Never
What
heard
are you
it. Nobody
talking
ever
about?
mentioned this to me before.
Yeah.
And that's when I get pissed because, and I have it. I mean, I've got it with my neighbor right now.
Yeah.
Yep. And so let's just talk about, you found another similar situation that I just gave as an example, right? 3,400 to 9,800. You found a same thing of two houses next to each other or something,
Well,
JJ, when
so
you were doing
my-
your research?
I was doing research, just getting ready for the show. I was printing up my tax record and blacking out the information I didn't want to be out there and everything. And I'm like, well, let me look at my neighbor. So I bought my place, 15 years ago ish, 12 years ago. And when I bought it, it was full of mold and it had problems. I got it for a really good price. I paid $125, I think. And immediately the tax assessor assessed it at $170,000. Well, because I know what I'm doing, I protested right away. And I fought with them for a few weeks, and then I got it down to 140. So I looked the other day, just getting ready for the show. My assessed value didn't go up to the 170 that they wanted to put me at until last year.
Huh.
Because it could only go up 3% a year off that 140. So I save $450 a year for the rest of my life because of me doing that protest up front. But so my neighbor, so I paid $127. I've got locked in with Save Our Homes. If somebody went to buy my place right now, their realtor might tell them, look, your taxes are only $2,900 a year. But in reality, my neighbor, who has the same exact market value showing in the PAPA system, the Palm Beach County Property Appraiser, their taxes are, $6,710.
So triple.
Okay, triple,
Well, more than double.
more than double. Yeah.
More than double, a little over double. And they're not homesteaded. So I dropped them a little note yesterday and said, listen, I've told you last year, you really need to homestead this house. So they're not even getting their $50,000 discount, let alone they didn't lock in.
I wonder. I wish Jarrett was here. Jarrett Perry, CPA, Perry Group CPA. I wonder if you don't homestead your house because you have federal for capital gains tax. If you live in the house 2 of the last 5 years, it doesn't have to be consecutive, but 2 years during the last 5, you can claim it as a homestead as long as you didn't have something else that was homesteaded. So let's say you don't physically homestead the property, so you're still paying the higher tax bill all the time. But then when you go to sell, I wonder if you can strip out the higher tax bill as cost for owning the home for the capital gains. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know about the higher. I know you can write off capital improvements and certain things that you do to it, but yeah, I don't know.
We were going to talk about that last week and we didn't get to it. So maybe we'll have Jared on again and talk about, because he said we should talk about, what you could take as exemptions on the capital gains tax when you sell a home.
Yeah.
I was we've done that before. Now I don't remember.
I would like to know that because I'm always advising. I do a lot of estate work. I send a lot of people to that AIRS program that you hooked me up with a few months ago too, Jim, that from Palm Beach County, they're the HEIRS.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fantastic resource. I give that out at least 3 times a week.
Yeah. It's awesome. Can you tell people more about that?
Well, it's a free program from Palm Beach County. It's fully funded for like at least another 10 months. It's in partnership with the Free Legal Aid Society from Palm Beach County.
Yes, you're right. Free Legal Aid Society.
And it's anybody over 55 qualifies, or they have a map overlay that if you're in certain locations in the county, many locations in the county, they will give you free advice on how to title the home, how to properly set up the home to pass down to your heirs so that they get, so that they don't get beat up on taxes. And it's all free.
Actually, I'm working with one of those customers from that last meeting, AJ. It's a woman whose mother passed. That's why she was at that meeting. It was in Green Acres, the city of Green Acres. We want to get that official over here and the Free Legal Aid Society on the show. But they had this meeting, and I think, what do you think? About 15, 20 people showed up to that, AJ, I think?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, and they all had issues. And there was one lady there that was really upset. She came up to me after the show. I gave her my card and said, if you want to call me, call me. Got her over to Free Legal Aid Society through that group, though. And we're still working on it right now. She's trying to sell it, but there's feuding relatives in 2 different countries besides herself, and we don't know what's going to happen yet, but we're trying. So that is a really great program. So, AJ, let's get into the whole, let's get into the understanding your property tax bill and everything.
Okay.
So the basics is like your the property control number is, they don't really use, they use legal addresses, but your property control number is really like the social security number of your property.
Right.
And that's what they work off of. And I didn't know this. I think AJ taught us this. If you start off with a 00 in your property parcel control number, that means that you're in an unincorporated area.
Yeah, that means
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, actually, the first 2 digits are city codes, but the 00 is Palm Beach County unincorporated.
Didn't know that. So
And I've
learn
been
every
doing
day.
this almost 25 years. I still don't know the city codes, but I know the 00s.
Slacker.
Well, it's a lot of cities.
I know there's 67
You know?
cities there or something.
I don't even know
40
Boynton, though.
something cities
That's
in
really
the state.
sad. I live in Boynton. I should know that one.
So
Is the 00 for every county that it automatically
I don't-
falls to the county?
I don't know about other counties.
Oh, okay.
This is just for Palm Beach County.
Okay.
Matter of fact, no, it definitely doesn't, because
doesn't,
there's
okay.
other counties I've done that it's not like that.
And if you were doing research on a property, you went to the property appraiser's site and you saw the property control number, it'd also give you a book and page number that's usually clickable, and that'll take you to the clerk of the courts, and that'll show the recorded deed or mortgage information there and the last transfer of the property.
Excellent.
So you can actually read like what bank has it, how much the interest rate is, how long the loan is. You can do all that stuff right there on the clerk, and it brings you right
Well,
there.
it pulls up for every transaction on the property. There's you can see that the book and page number's there, and it's the link color and underlined. So you could go drill into every one of them, and I'll do that sometimes to see who sold it to who. Like, their names are there, but you can see the actual document. So it'll give you their full names, everybody involved, different things like that.
So here's something that happens all the time to me, AJ. I go to the property appraiser site all the time because I want to find out if the house I'm walking into and thinking about turning an offer in for my customers is the same thing that the county says the house is. For example, most common is the garage is turned into living space, but it shows garage on the county, or the county records say 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but you walk into the place and it's 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or 3-bedroom, 2-bath, right? And it's a 2-1 in the records. Those are called attributes, AJ. So explain what happens like when the numbers don't add up. Like
Well-
what you're seeing is not what you get.
The most common you'll see is like a Florida room that's converted from a porch.
Mhm.
And as an appraiser, that's probably the most common thing in our local area, where if you're in a neighborhood where that's common, from the 1950s, homes were smaller. They used to have those, those big porches, which were nice to have, but the modern demand for greater living area exceeds that. So everybody converts it. So in those instances, you can tell that it was never permitted if it's still showing as a porch in the Papa system. The converted garages, the biggest tell there is if the garage door is still in place.
Yeah.
I've only had, I think, one record where the garage door was in place and it had been permitted converted. But otherwise, the garage door is for a permitted garage conversion. It's almost always been sealed off. So you have instances like those, and then you can have.
Can I
Sorry,
just
go
stop
ahead,
you
Jeff.
right there? And it doesn't count people if you put a drywall wall like 4 feet before the garage door, right? So that you still have the garage door. You go, well, I still have a garage, and it's like,
Yeah, they got a little
it's
storage area
3
there.
feet deep, right?
Uh-huh.
And you open up, and then there's a drywall that's really the back of the living room that's in the garage. That doesn't count.
Well, and it all comes down to the workmanship of a conversion. The key terms in appraising are: was it done in a workmanlike manner, and does it have congruent and like kind finishes? Can I tell that I just walked into a garage that's been converted, or does it look like everywhere else in the house?
Right.
And you can look for electrical lines, plugs. That's another one. People throw drywall up, but there's no electrical back there. And, that's not normal for you to not have any plugs on 2/3 of the walls in the house and, things like that. So, yeah, people love to do that. This meets the technical definition, and it's like, okay, but it doesn't look right.
So what I always tell sellers when I'm selling a house or talking to a buyer about unpermitted conversions, right? Like a garage. What I explain to them is, look, I know you're using it. Like if I tell a buyer, I go, look, I know you're using FHA financing, which is a government program for low down payment for people that are first time home buyers. So they have higher standards for construction to make sure you're not buying a lemon.
Right.
But if you have an unpermitted conversion of a garage and you're stepping down and everything looks like a living room though, right? Or a bedroom or something, your inspector is not going to bring it up. They're just going to say whether it's working functionally or not. Your appraiser isn't going to bring it up as long as it's done in a professional workmanlike manner and it doesn't look like somebody just jerry-rigged the whole thing.
And it's typical and conforming.
And it's conforming with the neighborhood that
Right.
other people are doing the same thing, even though a permit hasn't been pulled.
Right.
And FHA and your insurance company will allow you to buy the house with it unless somebody says something. And then that doesn't mean you got away with anything. What that means is it's the hot potato that you now have taken. And if there's a government sweep for permitting issues or something, or code enforcement sweep in your neighborhood, or you pull a permit for an inspector to come out. Let's say you got an AC, it's in that converted room, and the AC's there, and the inspector comes in to check on the rough electrical for the AC, and they see that they're stepping down. There's no egress window, and the place doesn't. They go back and they see it's a garage in the county records. They can red tag you and force you to either show that the work that was done meets today's code, or you got to rip it back to the original area. And your argument, well, I got FHA mortgage. We don't care. My appraiser, we don't care. My inspector, we don't care. It's your responsibility at that
It was
point.
like that when I bought it.
I was like that when I bought it. I don't even know who did it. 3 people did it before my owner.
That's like trying to find the guilty person in a prison. Everybody says that.
So
Everybody.
So that's a really important thing people need to understand when you're dealing with the property appraiser. It's a really good function, not just about your taxes, but what is the house supposed to look like? The other thing I just want to bring up there, AJ, a lot of realtors, I shouldn't say a lot, but you see a lot of times in the listings, in my opinion, the square footage in the listing does not match what it shows in the county records on the property appraiser. It'll say it's a 1,600 square feet. You go look at it, and it's a 1,200 square foot home on the property records. That happens a lot, and that always gets me kind of peeved because you can tell that the realtors are doing it to make the house look better, and I feel like it's misleading. What they should do is just go with the county records, unless they know there's a mistake. Right. If there's a mistake, then that to me would be okay.
The rule from the local board of realtors is that you need to have a source if you're going to put that number in there. So you could, Jim, flag those, and they would punish the realtors that did that. Not that you're necessarily going to, but you could. What I've done many times is the board will accept a sketch from an appraiser as a valid source, and that's actually one of the sources you can reference for the square footage. So I've had people hire me just to send that sketch into the board so that they can list the property with the correct square footage.
That's a good realtor.
Sometimes, yeah,
that's a good one.
Well, he was selling his own home, so
there you go.
But there's a lot of reasons why those records might not match. Like I've had the completely wrong floor plan in a subdivision, like a newer subdivision, and the realtor didn't even notice. That client lost $40,000 of value on their sale because they thought they were selling a 1,400 square foot home and it was 1,800 foot. And you could clearly see it if you just looked at the sketch. So I did the appraisal for the buyer and I'm like, hey, you got a hell of a deal.
Not if you do one deal a year.
But then all they have to do, is send that appraisal into the county on a situation like that, where it's just a completely wrong floor plan. And they'll usually update it for you. Or I've had other instances where I'm like, look, you're missing 150 square foot, and they've accepted the appraised sketch at the county. I've called the county and said, hey, this floor plan's wrong. And they're like, okay, just send me over the info and we'll update it. So when the client wants me to.
So now I want to get into the meaty part. This is the good part, right? All that's just formality and just understanding how to use this. And this is a really good thing for either buyers that have never bought or haven't bought in a long time, or people listening to us up north who are thinking about moving down here. I just created a new website. Well, I bought the website, but I haven't turned it on yet. It's called, I'm going to spell it because it's a play on words. It's BYENYC BUYFLA. By New York City, by Florida, right?
Okay.
So we're creating that site. We're going to be doing a campaign for our properties down here about trying to get them up north because there's so many people moving up here. We're going to talk about that trend next week. But anyway, we're going to create that campaign and everything. So
yeah, that's funny.
So the people up north that are thinking about moving to Florida, this is all really good A-grade stuff for you to understand because Florida is different than New York and New Jersey or Connecticut. On when you buy properties. So we're trying to teach you how it works down here. Now, assess value and market value. So when you go look at your property, right, on the property appraiser, it has an assessed value and a market value. And one of them is used to determine your tax value, and the other one is supposed to be the value of your home. But it always seems to be low, and I don't understand this. So we're going to ask AJ about this, and then when we get Dorothy Jacks, the property appraiser, on, we're going to ask her the same question and see what the differences are from the two perspectives. So anyway, tell us about market value and assessed value, AJ, if you can.
All right. Well, first of all, to address the thing about the values being a bit lower, my understanding, and obviously Dorothy Jacks is the premier source to rely on for this information. My understanding is that they aim to be low, somewhere around 16 to 18%. Ish. And the reason is you can petition if you don't like your taxes. If you don't like the market value that they have on there, well, so 50,000 people would be petitioning if they made it too close, and by making it that far off, you really usually don't have any ground to stand on I've done it. There are
That's so
instances, but
interesting.
usually you can't.
Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know that. That's a,
So
that's
I don't know if that's the reason, but that's the practical effect.
that
you
makes
know,
sense.
So the market value, so they aim a little bit low. So we'll take my townhome. And we'll go back to the point that my neighbor's taxes are more than double mine. Now, we both have the identical floor plan on paper. It's a little different, but same square footage, same everything. So we are both showing a market value of 375,000. But my assessed value comes from long ago, that $140,000 assessed value that I fought for, market value back then, when I bought it, that they could only go up 3% a year on my assessed value.
Because of your homesteading.
Because of my homestead. Now, my neighbor, on the other hand, that house was the townhome that's identical. It's showing a 365 market value, so 10,000 less than me for some reason. But their assessed value is $365,000 because they just bought it. So they're saying, okay, here's your time to put your stake in the ground. And so now it'll only go up 3% a year. But that cumulative effect, you know, that's why my taxes are half. He's got the same $50,000 exemption. It's just that the Save Our Homes, my stake in the ground started 15 years earlier than him, and I paid a third of what he did.
So with the assessed value, that can only isn't with the assessed value, if it's a second home, you're capped at 10%, AJ. I forget the 10% cap. Do you know what I'm talking about? I think non-homesteaded properties are capped at 10%. I think there's even a cap for them. I want to check that. I wanted to do the research last night. I didn't have a chance. So we're going to bring it up.
You know, that's the thing. 3% is significant already. I mean, look at I'm over my 170 that they started me at, that they admitted was too high based on. But you know, you got to remember when it comes to these values. Like I was at a house last month, and it's an inheritance, so it hasn't changed hands in decades. Well, they had that property. I don't remember the real number, but let's just say they had it at 410,000. I ended up appraising it actually under that at like 405. But the reason is it had a whole bunch of condition issues. It looked original 1970s. Nothing had been done to it. The pool had some significant damage. There was problems. So it was actually worth a little less because the county assumes that you're within a range of updating and condition, even if you haven't pulled permits or sold it. So there are instances where your assessed value could be too high, but it's pretty rare.
And the one thing I'm afraid is when I was reading that and thinking about it in real life, imagine going to the assessor and say, hey, my house is a piece of junk and it isn't worth what you're saying it's worth. And if you had any violations or anything, that would be the perfect time for the city or the county to come in and say, hey, you know, put that roof on, cut your lawn, you know, whatever, take the jalopies out of your yard.
Yeah,
but
I'll tell you that I've had one that I fought that I helped one of my friends fight that I won. And it's all statistics, you know, they pulled, there was this tiny little house and it was on the mainland, but close to Manalapan. And there's a bunch of old homes in there, you know, 1940s. This thing was like 400, 500 under air, tiny. They had it taxed at the same price per square foot. They had the value as the mansion built for the Duchess of Marlborough on Manalapan. And I brought that up. I said, here, you've got this property assessed at this much per square foot. You've got my property assessed at the same price. You've got to be kidding. Right. And that was like the nail in the coffin.
They changed it, right?
They did.
Yeah. How much money did that guy save?
I don't remember.
Tens of thousands, probably.
It was just, for me, it was the point of it. But the thing is, for the average person to pay for that place was only worth maybe 150 grand. I don't remember the number. But realistically, I would have had to charge maybe $1,500 for the work I did if it wasn't a friend of mine. And that's just not practical for most people.
Right.
So I have a question, and I don't know if you guys can answer it, but because we're talking about it. So when my mom passed away and came off title of the condo we owned together, my assessed value went from 107 to 152.
Mm-hmm. Because it's not just like, but from their standpoint, it's a sale, it's a transaction. It's no longer got the homestead stake in the ground.
So there was a transfer of property, so they get to reset because you're not homesteaded.
Well,
Right.
there was no transfer. We owned it together. She passed away, comes off title.
But she was homesteaded, right?
She was. Yeah.
You had your own homestead, right?
She
You had-
was homesteaded in that property.
right,
yes.
but you had your own homestead on another
Yes.
property,
So that property of
Mhm.
hers lost the homestead,
right?
and so it lost the stake in the ground.
right.
Okay, so it reset at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah,
Man, that's
because
crazy.
if you were connected to that homestead and you were like living there, and you didn't have another property that wasn't homesteaded, you'd probably be able to keep the homestead.
The assessed value went up 50%.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's because it got held back and kept low because of Save Our Homes for so long.
Gotcha.
This really, you can really see
It's
the
weird.
enhanced version of this which is a lot of my business, when you see these homes that have been held for 20, 30, 40 years by the same person. When that transfers, it's a huge, huge difference.
I mean, for me, if the whole idea of like both of us being on title
Was to keep that from happening.
was, some sort of having to,
Void probate, probably.
like all of that. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
a great resource to ask a question like that? The heirs program for Palm Beach County.
Yeah.
Seriously,
That's true,
that's the
yeah.
kind of thing, that room that we were in, that was all the kinds of
Mhm.
questions people
I
had.
can get you to that guy, but we can get Paul too. He can
I
give you
mean,
that answer too.
This was a
done.
while ago
It's
now.
done.
I know it's a
Yeah,
while
it's
ago, yeah.
done. I just,
But for
I didn't-
listeners out there, really, I mean, that's the kind of thing you could call in advance. As soon as that person passes away and you know that you're going to be dealing with all this, give them a call and find out the right way to handle things.
yeah, because I didn't find, I don't pay attention to
Yeah.
whatever. And it came this year in November, and I was like,
Yeah, what happened?
why is that?
Yeah.
How's the assessed value go 50%? Like, there was no, in my head,
Yeah.
there was no transfer of ownership or anything. Like, there was no resale or, so
If-
in my head, I'm like,
If nobody
why-
knew that your mom passed, it wouldn't have. It would just look like it did every other year.
Stupid funeral
when they
home.
find out that your mom passed. Yeah,
There
yep.
you go. Just advertising it.
yeah.
yeah.
You need
yeah.
a weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, that's right. So for the listeners out there, if you're on title and pass away, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, keep it. A
Keep
secret.
getting that Social Security
No
check.
obituary.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. The Social Security checks.
Yep.
Sure. Keep it coming.
Hey, Johnny, let's go ahead and take a break. And on the flip side, we're going to talk about good news with Ross Camarinets, Brightway Juno Insurance, right here. He's going to tell us about how his goal is to save all his customers tons of money this year.
Love it.
And we're going to talk about some good news in the car insurance industry. And we'll talk a little bit about what the legislators say they want to do more to try to make homeowners insurance more affordable.
Good. Lots of great information still coming. Plenty of time remaining if you'd like to join us at 877-227-6969. It's a 4-minute reset. We'll get right back to your phone calls if you're there. Of course, if you're not comfortable on the radio, remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're on Facebook and YouTube. Lots to consume. Of course, the .com is the real major resource because you have access to an entire team, a team of pros, experts in their field, and they work cohesively together. Whether you're buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. If you need a professional in the world of real estate, anything that touches the real estate world, we got it for you. One click away. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday right here on Real Radio.
We'll be your friend. Follow us at Real Radio 92.1 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. It's going to be a pleasant remainder of your Saturday. Nice sunny skies will continue. Still a little bit breezy, not nearly as windy as the past few days, though. Humidity stays low. Highs this afternoon, low 70s. Could see a few areas struggling to get out of the 60s once again. Pleasant conditions overnight as well.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Score major deals on top brands at Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Find your dream mattress today. Their sleep experts are highly trained to find the right one to fit your unique needs. They make sleep easy.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, here we go. It's 10:19 on a Saturday. I advanced this a little bit there. Now, if you do that math, there's plenty of time remaining for your phone calls. We got you until 11, 2 hours of infotainment. Dial in if you'd like, 877-927-6969. Jimothy will line you up there. At least I believe he will. What's up, my dude?
Hell yeah, give me a call. Keep me busy over here.
Always good to have you with us on
Good to see
Saturday.
you, buddy.
Johnny C, that's me, your old buddy, your old pal, your air traffic control. Ross Camaronets is with us as well. He's with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. What's up, Ross?
You know that's right.
Oh, man, good to see you as always. AJ Holman's here, too. ExperienceAppraisers.com. Good to see you as well.
Having a great time. Nice and warm.
I love it. Yes, me too. Yeah, manifesting some warmth over here. It's coming together. Jimmy D's our fearless leader. Told you he runs the top producing Keller Williams team for a long time now. It's the Florida Home Pros with Keller Williams Innovations. What's up, Jimmy D?
Hey, good. I think this is Jarrett Perry, but I'm not sure. Somebody just sent a message to us who knows Paul Krasker, and I want to just bring this up. This is about the last segment we're talking about assessed values and everything, and selling your home and buying a home. It says, remember what Paul Krasker said. It's a good thing to challenge the county assessed value to make it higher if you're planning to sell, so that the portability homestead amount that you get is larger for your bigger home. I forgot he told us
I remember
that.
100%.
I
You
think
remember
about that
that?
all the time.
Oh, I know.
I think I remember him telling that
I
story.
forgot.
On
I got to
air.
put that in my toolbox better.
I'll-
Tell people.
There was there was attorneys going around doing that retroactively after their sales because they still owed a portion of the taxes that they paid at closing.
So that's a tip. If you're selling your house and if you're like AJ and AJ was selling his house and it's been homesteaded since 1942. I'm joking. And it's been homesteaded for a long, long, long time. And you know you're selling and you're staying in Florida because you need the portability. You might want to go to the county and get your property assessed at higher value at that point. And let me tell you, it's also less surprises for you at closing, because if you have all those bozo agents we were talking about who don't understand any of this stuff, you might be putting yourself into a deal with a buyer that really can't afford the home. This way, you take the thing out.
No, not exactly.
Well,
Be-
because of the old
what
tax bill?
what you're petitioning to do is to increase your market value, not your assessed value. Your portability is the
Oh, you
spread
did-
between the two.
Oh, okay. So the assessed value they're going to leave alone, but they're going to increase your market value.
So my
I'm
townhome,
confused.
we just looked at is market value at 375.
Okay.
In reality, let's say I can sell it for at least 420,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to plan to sell it next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I could go to the county and say, hey, you said my property's worth 375. That's not true. It's worth 420. I paid an appraiser as of January 1st of 2025. That's what my value is. And you petition to have them increase it.
Wouldn't you be paying 3% on that spread?
No, because it's the market value. The 3% is your assessed value can only increase by 3%. My assessed value right now is like 180, even though
see.
my market
Yeah.
value is 375.
So that's a really good tip. Thank you for reminding us on that. And I have to be better on that.
And who makes that decision? Is it like a board? Is it?
Well, you go to the tax authority and you petition to do it. And the thing is, you're actually screwing over the new buyer to some extent.
Yes.
And also, like, they don't like doing it at the county. Like, if you ask Dorothy Jacks about this, I guarantee you, I caught her in a parking lot and asked her about it one time. And she's
Stalking
like,
her.
Yeah, wait
It
for
sounds like he was stalking her.
well, no, it was after. I didn't want to. I
goes
didn't want to bring it up.
Applebee's every Tuesday at 6:30.
I didn't want to bring it up. She appeared somewhere that I was at, and I didn't want to bring it up in front of everybody.
Oh,
But no, she said, "Look, what you're describing is legal, but it's horrible, basically."
and like you say, you are in that sale. You are totally screwing that buyer. Now the buyer just you're advancing the screwing. You're kicking it forward
Well,
a year, basically, right?
If let's say
Yeah.
it did sell
Yeah.
for 420, normally they would probably only increase from that 375 market value to something below the 420. They would try to aim 15 to 20% low.
Right.
But if you're, the technical fact of the matter is it is worth 420. I want all of my 420. It's great for you on your portability, but the new buyer is now paying on 420 when all the neighbors are paying at 375 for their market value.
Yeah, that's a great perspective,
It
no
is.
doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears over to Ross Camaras, Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach, the only place to go get your insurance statewide.
Did you know it?
Why would you go anywhere else? It's crazy. So Ross has been talking to us for quite a long time now. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks, if not longer, months and months, where we've been seeing homeowners insurance rates dropping for a lot of
September
people.
is when I saw the
September.
September, I
Wow.
saw
So
the
it's
first
been
renewal
4
go down.
months. 4 months we've been going, this is awesome.
Yes, it is.
So 4 months we've been seeing better affordability with homeowners insurance. And we were also seeing it. He did mention earlier that we were seeing that also happen in the car industry, the auto insurance. I just read in the paper that I keep saying that all the time, read in the news, 6 auto insurance companies that are here in Florida are talking about reducing their rates again. What's going on? And I saw either USAA or AAA just did the same thing where they already announced their discounts.
Yeah, I mean, all the carriers have experienced the past couple of years have experienced profitability. They were hit by the same kind of crazy lawsuits too, but more on like the bodily injury side. And the legislation has worked and it's brought those down. And so all the carriers are becoming more profitable and, they want more business because they're profitable. So everybody's reducing their rates. So it's a great time to shop your auto insurance right now.
I know when I bought my insurance through you for my new car, I'm saving something like $900. I didn't expect this either. And I'm saving like $900 a year. And both cars were about this. My old car and my new car were about the same price and value.
Yeah, because we switched companies because we looked at it with your current company and to see what that price was when you're getting the new car. And then we also checked the other companies based on that new car too. And we were able to save quite a bit of money.
$900. That's a lot for a year. I think that was really, thank you, Ross. I also have to say thank you again because I was totally illegal driving around where they actually had in the computer system seized the tag or the car or something. And I was freaking out last week, right? A week ago yesterday and Thursday actually. And I was like, Ross, my license is suspended because I couldn't get into the DMV portal. And now my tag is going to expire on Saturday. This is last week. And I got to drive like 400 miles this weekend showing properties to people. I go, I know I'm going to be pulled over. And it says something about seizing my car, my tag. I don't know what's going to happen. So Ross was like, he was so helpful. And he was on vacation, I think. I don't think you were in town. And I was
driving to a conference.
Oh, cool. I got him at a good time. So he goes, do you mind if I tell him the honey hole?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't give it out.
Okay, I'm not going to give it out
anymore.
So Ross told me a special DMV place to go where there probably wasn't going to be that many people.
Nice.
So I used to go. I tell the one I used to go to. I used to go out to the one in Belle Glade all the time because that one was always empty. But people found out about that one because the last time I went there, it was pretty crowded. But this time, when I went to the one that Ross told me to go to, I got there a half hour after it opened because I thought it was going to open at 8:30. It opened at 8. I was like, oh, I'm probably going to be here going through it. There were only 14 people ahead of me.
Nice.
I was done in an hour with both things. I'm like, this is awesome.
Wow.
So thank you, Ross. Thank you.
How bad is it when 14 people is good?
It's a blessing.
Yeah, 14 people.
Hour.
And let me tell you, that office, they were very efficient and polite. I was like, wow, I wish all DMVs acted like this. They really knew what they were doing. They had cranky people. They didn't like fall into the trap of being cranky with them. They stayed higher level. You know what I mean? I was
Good
like,
for
this is a pretty good office. They should mimic this a lot of other places.
Good for them.
I like
But anyway, thank you. So if anybody wants the honey hole, you're desperate, you're going to lose your license or get arrested or something.
Call Ross.
You have to call me and then I'll tell you what Ross told you.
I love that. I love that Zootopia with the sloths all behind the counter. I'm like, this is it. This is what the DMV is like.
Yeah. So,
Rob, can I ask a quick question?
Please.
Only because it ties into what we've been talking about for years now, where the Florida legislature passed that where you had to have skin in the game in order to sue your homeowner's insurance. You're saying that as far as with the auto insurance, it was more on the personal injury side of it. Did they pass a similar type of a law, or was this all under one law?
I mean, it was all in that package of legislation.
Okay.
But the auto carriers started to see a reduction in them. Basically, you've got high auto liability limits, right? Bodily injury liability. You're driving a weapon, so you've got to have liability for if you injure somebody, another party. And so there was a bunch of carriers that they only wanted people with the high 250,000 per person, 500,000 per accident for bodily injury liability. But first, as soon as you get into an accident, the other guy's attorney goes, hey, I need to see that policy. And if it's got 250, 500, that's a lot of money they're going after.
Yep.
But if it's only got 10, 20, it's not worth the attorney's time to go after $10,000. They want to go after the 250. So all those carriers got burned, and they stopped they stopped either offering coverage or they didn't actually write any high limits. They completely reversed. But now it's gotten a lot better. The lawsuits have calmed down, and so they're starting to become more competitive, and the higher limits are better now.
When I was a reporter in the late 90s, 2000s, especially in Delray, there were all these people that were staging fake, not staging fake, well, creating fake accidents, but they weren't like, sometimes it was both parties where the victim and the perpetrator, if you will, that caused the crash were in cahoots with each other. So they could both sue or whatever and make all the money. And they had attorneys, like Better Call Saul attorneys, right?
Yeah.
That were all ready to, like, they had a whole system going for that. Then they had the back pain specialists or whatever, the
Yeah.
neck pain people, like saying that they were sick, and they had a whole operation going. And sometimes it wasn't both parties. It was just the person in the car in front of you. And then they would stop check you, right? Hoping that you'd smash into them. Right. And then they'd all act like they all had broken necks. Right. And they get out. And it was so common. It was happening all the time in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I thought it kind of went away. It just kind of went away. But apparently it was big enough where they added it into the fraud package.
Yeah. I
for
mean, I don't know if
insurance.
that's what was happening.
Yeah.
But, things.
I'm
are
sure
definitely
that they
getting
did the same thing, Ross, where if you're going to sue that you got to pay now, and that's probably what's stopping the lawsuits, the frivolous lawsuits.
the auto. I didn't look into, because I didn't really look
Yeah.
into the auto
Nobody
part
really
of it,
talked
because it
about
was just, I mean, we're dealing with homeowners on a daily basis, and those we're seeing, you have a 40% increase on $5,000. That's a lot bigger than 40% on $600.
Yeah.
So we paid attention to the homeowner side, and we're working on that.
So savings tip number 1 today, if you got a car and you have insurance and you're in Florida, call Ross and let's find out if you could save $900 a year like I did. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody can. I was just really happy with my results. Did not expect it. Always would work with Ross no matter what. But I was really surprised what happened, and other people can save money too. And right now, anything you could save.
Oh yeah.
Let's
last year, a lot of people were shaving off things to try to save money, like uninsured motorists and stuff like that. And maybe you might be able to get it added back on and save money. You don't know until you find out.
So you got to call Ross. Now
That's
let's
right.
talk about the bigger savings. So talk about the campaign that you're doing right now and your goal that you want to reach about trying to help people save money.
Yeah, so this is kind of the first time we're going to talk about it
awesome.
publicly. But internally, kind of at the beginning of the year, we decided to see, because things have turned around from where they were. So we were starting to see savings on a apples to apples basis when we're dealing with our current clients, and also new clients who have existing policies that come to us. We started to see those savings. So we said, why don't we see how much we can save people this year? So we're starting to track it. So far we've saved our customers over $30,000. Our goal this year, and so we want everybody to call in and be a part of this goal and help us get there, is we want to save our clients, our customers, everybody who calls us, $500,000 this year. So we want to save $500,000.
Nice.
We're at 30. We got a long way to go, but hopefully we can get some of the listeners to call and participate and help us reach that goal.
Hey,
Yeah,
you're
it
like
helps everybody. It's not just us.
8%. You're
We're-
8% there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And
Yeah.
it's not about scaling your insurance down to bare bones.
No,
It's
this is-
about making sure you're properly insured and saving money. Apples to apples comparisons here. This isn't like, look, anybody can be like, hey, I want to spend as little as possible. That's not the goal. It's about insuring you, right? And
Yeah.
saving you money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we won't write a policy. Like if somebody comes to us with coverage and they want to reduce the coverage with us to make it cheaper than what they're paying, I don't want to do that. I tell
Right.
them, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Like, if you want to do that on your current policy, because then that's going to be overall cheaper and getting to your goal.
Better.
But, yeah,
Right.
like I'm not going to write you a worse policy just because you want to save money.
Exactly.
Like just make those changes to your current policy.
That's not the point here.
No.
And
So
oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
everything that we're doing is apples to apples, and most of our business comes from a real estate transaction. So there's not a lot of savings there. So this is just what we've done so far with our current clients and reshopping their policies, and with our new business with people who have existing policies.
So I gave my deck page to Roswell, most of it. He didn't have all the information needed a couple weeks ago, and he got back to me like a day later with 2 quotes, and both were going to be saving me money. Just one was full water coverage and one was partial water coverage.
Mhm.
But I think the savings was like was like 900 a year or like 1600 a year. So we just got to, I got to verify which coverage I have to go apples to apples, or possibly increase my coverage. Right.
Right.
If
So
I'm a
one
little-
was either 900
I think the other was like 1600.
and then the other one was like 1500. Yeah.
1500. Yeah. Substantial though.
I
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah.
You quoted me. You always quote me that way too for my clients. I like that. Here's two options.
Yeah. I mean, because we don't spend anybody's money.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
You spend your own money. We're gonna give you the information, and then you can choose how to spend it.
That's
You know,
funny.
we're
I-
not just saying, "Oh, here's a quote. Go with this is your only option."
I use that line all the time. I love it. I'm not spending your money, but if I was, this is
And this, just to put into perspective those numbers in case people aren't good with math. If it was $900 savings, that would be a discount on your mortgage payment of $75 a month, right? For your escrow,
Right.
right? If you have escrow. And at $1,600, it's $133 a month. So we're
Yes.
talking real money here.
Oh yeah.
It's real savings here. And that's what I love. And I love when we're in this cycle as opposed like we're figuring out
Oh,
how
so
to
much
save
better,
people
yeah.
money cycle. I love this cycle when we're in it. So I'm just enjoying it right now.
Yeah,
I know, just
it's much
enjoying it
better
very
than the bludgeoning cycle.
Yeah, it used to be like how can I prevent your policy only going up 1,000 and only making it go up 500?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, I saved you $500.
Right.
But I didn't get to reduce it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing now. So that's really, really good. Now,
So in order to reach this goal, though, we need you, the audience, and we need you to share the information. This is a free process, and it is as painless as it gets. It's really about giving Ross your address, and if you can give him your declaration page, you really can then give an apples to apples comparison. That's again as simple as it can be, and you're going to get a response really quickly. I got mine the next day. A couple of options. Then again, a little bit of my side, like here, just let me know because you didn't give me all the information I need. Let me know which one's going to be more apples to apples coverage for you. But you can save money and you can help Ross and his team reach their goal because they want to save you some money. It's not about getting you in a less situation. He wants you covered and he wants you saving money.
And a lot of
Do your
times
part.
we're giving people better coverage.
Well, that's even better.
A lot of times because you see a lot of limited water damage policies right now.
Yeah.
A lot of limited water. And so a lot of the times we're able to take somebody who had limited water, give them full water,
And still,
save them.
that's
So-
win-win-win.
good question. One of the people on YouTube said, does your insurance score get affected if you change policies multiple times? Like if you're switching in and out of policies, does it affect you like in your insurance
So
rating?
not really an insurance score, but you're a good portion of your auto insurance premium not with your home, but a good portion of your auto insurance premium is how long you have been with your previous carrier.
Loyalty based.
Right, kind of. So if you've been with your previous carrier for 5 years, you'll probably get a better rate than AJ if he's only been with his previous carrier for 6 months.
That's really good info.
But auto,
But it
world,
always, but hey, it always, if you're saving money, you're saving money.
Yeah.
Right. So
The other tip I want to give people right now about insurance, and I've been doing this with my buyers. When buyers are like at the upper limit of where they need to be as far as their mortgage payment and what they're trying to qualify for, Mike always budgets a certain amount in his app for insurance based on the purchase price you're going to do. But I've been finding that some of that can be off because there's no way for Mike to predict what type of house you're buying or whatever. So what I've been doing lately with the people that are right up against the limit, I've been taking the house either after we saw it or before we saw it, knew that there was going to be a roof involved, like there would be a new roof if the house was bought. So I would have been throwing it to Ross's team and saying, hey, here's the listing. If it has a brand new roof on it, what's the insurance quote? Then I'm taking that insurance quote and compare it to what Mike's app is saying. And if there's a difference, I'm adjusting it. So when I have my buyers, not only am I telling, look, when you qualify for loan, this is what you're going to pay with the real insurance quote. But what you're really going to pay after the taxes are reset is this number. And I have the real insurance quote in there and the real property tax estimator for after you buy it, which really gives you a very clear idea. It really no surprises in our
Right.
system that way.
Right.
So just just think about that. If you're at your upper limit, say, wow, maybe I should be checking what the real insurance policy is going to be before, as I'm turning in the offer. Right.
Yeah, I mean, because there's mortgage brokers out there. They're just trying to sell a loan to somebody, and they sell on payment. At the end of the day, they're selling their payment. And so if they're advertising or showing you a much lower payment because their insurance costs are not real, it's just because I get people that are like, well, my loan officer only budgeted, $2,000 a year on this 5,000 square foot home.
That sounds like Scud Missile Company territory.
Yeah.
Those people in other states, they don't know what our insurance policies are like down here.
It's just like the taxes. If you're not using realistic numbers at the front end, it's not going to be a healthy loan.
Yeah.
So just really great insurance tips. If you got confused, you want to hear more, you can go to Facebook. You could go to Facebook, but it's only going to be there 30 days. You really need to go to our YouTube channel, Florida Talk Real Estate LLC. I moved around things so that the live shows are going to be on the first thing that you see on the page. I haven't fixed the page yet completely, but at least I did that last night. So go check it out if you want any reruns. And you can go to the iHeartRadio app and listen to us all year long.
Nice.
I think we got 500 shows in there, so go listen away.
Nice.
The library.
Okay, so I want to switch over to a different subject. Last week, we were talking about Marley and Me and the Millionaires. And what that segment was about was how the famous author from Marley and Me, John Grogan, came back down to West Palm, where he originally lived, went to a very old eastern part of West Palm Beach near the Palm Beach Post, where they are, and went to go look at their old house. It was in the process of being torn down. They paid $105,000 for it in 1989, and it was just sold for the lot for $1.38 million. And he was just amazed that whole neighborhood is changing. And what we called it is becoming instant millionaires, because what's happening over there's all these people that either inherited a home or been living in the home that was built in the 1950s, 60s, maybe 1970s. They really haven't upgraded it or anything. And developers, if the lot is the right size and the right location in that neighborhood, they're going to give you $1 million for that house, because in that neighborhood where John Grogan lived, they're tearing down homes and putting in $4 to $5 million estates. And if you go a little farther east, a couple of blocks east, because he's west of Dixie and West Palm. If you go a little east of Dixie and West Palm on the Intercoastal, they're building $15 to $20 million estates on the waterfront properties looking east on the Intercoastal. So that was happening, and we called that becoming an instant millionaire. Are you sitting on a property that you could become an instant millionaire with? And let me tell you, your assessed value has no clue. If you go to the property appraiser, you have no idea that this is happening. But you do know when you walk around your neighborhood, it's like, oh, $5 million property, $5 million property. Then you're in that neighborhood, okay? When you're walking your dog or riding your bike and you're seeing that happening, that's happening in your
Is
neighborhood.
construction noise keeping you up in the morning?
So AJ, it was really great. I was really excited. You went through a whole bunch of areas. So tell me how you did the research and what you found out.
All right. So what I did was look at homes built 2020 or newer. I did a map search throughout Palm Beach County, 4,000 foot under air or larger without water frontage. And then I eliminated everything with a HOA fee. And the result was maybe 60 matches, but they were clustered on the map. You could see, oh, there's 15 in this eastern Boca section. Here's 10 in this neighborhood here. And the reason that is because there are only a few areas that have these new elevated mansion type value, new constructions going in that are going in a large number. Eastern West Palm Beach, between Olive and the Intercoastal, or between US 1 and the Intercoastal, down by what was the one you had mentioned to me, and I was
Boca, Lake Wyman over there.
Yeah, in Boca. What was the one in Boca?
East Boca. It's behind Meisner Park. There's a whole neighborhood out there that hugs Lake Wyman,
between Glades and Palmetto Park.
Yes.
Yeah. That was like a
yep.
really concentrated cluster on my map.
Lake Ida,
and everybody who lives around there knows, like just north of Lake Ida, or rather Lake Ida Road or Boulevard, whatever it is, just north of that and east of the lake. That section, I mean, they're putting up, they're monsters. When you're looking around, I remember I did an appraisal maybe 5 to 8 years ago. I don't know, time flies, but it was this tiny little Spanish style house on a decent sized lot right in that Lake Ida area. And it was a new construction appraisal for like a 5,000 square foot mansion. And at the time I was like, this is crazy to do this here. And now they're everywhere. It's 80% of that section. So the Eastern West Palm areas like that. Around the North Palm Beach, North Palm Beach Village, Yacht Club in North Palm Beach, Pennock Point and Jupiter is another example. Even though they're dry lots, they're large lots, and Jupiter is it's hard to find a nice big lot, that's close to the water. So there's a lot of different areas. Actually, by you, Ross, in Juneau, Seaview Ridge, I saw a little strip of little mansions going in there.
Yeah, there's a couple spots right there by the beach where they're starting to put in some big dogs.
Yeah.
You know what was always surprising to me? The 4 to 5 million, when that was first coming out a couple of years ago, that was very shocking to me, and I felt I didn't understand what was going on. But what's more surprising to me is how it's kind of spread out, and it isn't necessarily waterfront lots. At first, it was only like waterfront, right? You had to have intercoastal access or ocean access somehow with your boat, or you were staring at water from your front or backyard.
Kind of makes sense.
Now it's not like
those
that.
are the ones for sure that
Right,
always.
but now
you don't
the
even need to have
interior
that.
lots, right? You don't need the waterfront, you didn't need the boat thing, and you're still getting developers coming in and doing it, and people are buying them.
You just need the big chunk of land.
Yeah.
Well,
and no, it isn't.
it's not big
that
chunks.
big.
No.
No.
Well, it's got to be big
Quarter
enough
acre.
to sustain the property.
Quarter
Well,
acre.
for sure.
Yeah.
And these builders do want to maximize. And I was just showing Jim on the break what I'm doing an appraisal right now for an estate home. Hasn't been updated probably in decades, and it's only a few lots from the water in from Flagler. So it's in that West Palm area between Southern and Forest Hill. It's maybe 5 or 6 lots from the water. So what becomes important there, all those lots are between, not all of them, but let's say the vast majority are between 6,000 square foot and 13,000 square foot. Well, I didn't realize one thing in my analysis that I have been picking up on more lately is because of the setback requirements, it matters what the front footage is. If you're 60 front feet and I've got setbacks on both sides, now my house is skinnier. And I can only make it so, because it's all about maximizing.
Right.
Can I put a 6,000 foot mansion there, or a 4,000 foot, or a 3,000 foot? And it's so the 6,000 to 7,000 square foot lots, those have the mini mansions. Those are maybe only a couple $1 million and they're maybe 3,000 under air. But then you move into the 7,500 to 9,000 square foot lots. Now we've got 4,000, 5,000 square footers that are worth, whatever, 4 million, 5 million. And then you've got the 12,000, 13,000 square foot lots. And now those have the monsters that are 8 million, 10 million, 12 million.
So, and they're really maximizing. I tried to sell a house. There was one of the few times I didn't sell that year. I think this was 2021 or 2022. And this family wanted to sell an interior lot. And they thought they had $1 million property. They thought they were instant millionaires. But it was at the beginning stages of all this happening, and their lot was irregular, like AJ was saying. So unlike the other properties in the area where you could fit the large house with the pool, they couldn't fit the pool in our house, and the driveway was going to be really small in order to get everything that they wanted. So their lot was only probably worth 9 as opposed to 1.2 million or something.
Right.
So they didn't want to sell it at the time. And I just checked on their property recently. They never sold it. They still own it 5 years later. They're still there. But it's a really great neighborhood, and they loved walking their kid. They had a young kid, and they loved walking in that neighborhood and everything. So they loved the area. So I guess they decided to stay. But if you're interested in learning how either to do that, where you want to build an estate and you want to find an infill lot or a waterfront lot, give me a call, because I have the developers that do it. I have the way to search all this stuff like AJ's doing. And if we're lucky, we'll find a property for you that is not on the market and try to strike a deal with the owner. If you're an owner saying, am I in an instant millionaire neighborhood? Right? Give us a call. We're going to map it out. There's a good fan of the show named Dane. I'm going to be helping selling their townhome. It's going to be coming up very soon. Their parents live in one of those instant millionaire areas. So what we're going to do for them, one of the things they could do is partner with the developer. Instead of just selling the property to the developer, I know a lot of developers would prefer not to raise that $1 million or $1 million plus for the land.
Yeah.
Have you partner with them, right? And then you profit participate on the back end. That could be a really good opportunity for somebody also.
Really?
And so many of these transactions go not through MLS, not out in the main system. They're pocket listings, or because there's certain realtors that, like, I know which realtors to call when I'm working on one of these West Palm lots, because I know they work with builders, and they're going to have a pretty good idea of price per square foot, the front footage, the inventory, because there's shadow inventory. There's stuff that some of these families don't want their properties advertised,
Right. Right.
So a lot of it is, compared to the normal market, I think a lot of it is, it's not that it's back room or under the table, but it's not out, for public consumption, a lot of it.
How tough is it for an appraiser though? So
Very hard.
we're talking, yeah, it's hard. So we're talking about these, these neighborhoods that
I'm wondering
maybe
this
maybe
is-
haven't fully kicked in yet, right? So somebody's like, oh, I'm in a pocket that looks like it's going to go here. So they move forward, right? They maybe they're going to do it on their own. They're going to do a tear down and put this from an appraiser's perspective. When you mentioned earlier, like you're ahead of the curve in this neighborhood, you're way overvalued at that point. Like, are you fighting against kind of what they're doing from you doing your job?
It has more to do with what can they finance, like that. I don't remember, but that one that I was working on that I told you about, I don't remember what the number was that they projected it was going to be worth at the end. I think I was probably in line with that, but in reality, it ended up being worth a lot more.
I have a question related to that. So let's say that you have a person that has a 1958 3-bedroom, 2-bath with terrazzo floors and the windows,
Jalousie
the
windows.
jalousie.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you. I'm having
nice.
a jalousie windows. Just an older home. Let's say it's kept very well conditioned, but it looks 1959. Everything.
You
It's
know how
sitting on a
cold
nice.
it's been in that house?
And it-
Oh my god!
And it's been sitting, it's just sitting in this instant millionaire neighborhood. So how does an appraiser appraise that property? Do you appraise it as if the house, based on the house that's there, even though that the land might be way more valuable than the house
Well,
itself? Like, how do you figure
yeah.
that out?
you do it with the house that's there. And actually, the house being there sometimes is a negative,
Right.
because I got to tear it down, and that's going to cost me $60,000. So what you can't do, what you should not do, and I've seen some unprofessional people do it before, is you don't want to give full value for the land as though it's vacant, and give full value for the depreciated value of the house that's sitting on it. Because if you're going to tear it down, the depreciated value of the house is zero. Like, I showed up to do an estate appraisal a few years ago, right off Olive, right on the corner. I showed up, and the house was like 700 under air, 1950s elevated foundation. And I said, well, I can tell you what the house is worth right now. It's zero, because you're on a 10,500 square foot lot in an area where there's new construction everywhere. So your home's not worth anything. Let's find out what your land's worth.
And you'll do that. Let's say you have a seller who doesn't understand what's going on, and it's in that type of neighborhood, and they insulated from everything that's going on, and they just decide, it's time for me to sell, and they have no idea that they're sitting on this potential gold mine. Is it your job to kind of bring that up to them as the appraiser, like to show them what they don't know? Or if they just say, hey, I want to know what my house is worth, give me an appraisal.
Well, that's like 40% of my business is people that are getting ready to sell that just want to have a really good idea what they should sell for.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm hired by you for that purpose, then yeah, I'm going to show you and say, look, this is what's going on. I'm going to give you all the insight into why I think what the market drivers are and what's happening. But usually when you see an appraiser, it's because the bank hired them for the buyer, and they're not going to tell you that you're selling too low.
Totally understand that, but I'm just talking about like a regular person that's doing a private appraisal, and they're just like, I'm thinking about putting my house on the market. I want to know what it's worth, and they have no idea what's happening all around them.
Yeah, I do.
So
a ton
they're
of
thinking
those.
like, okay, my house might be worth $500,000 because it needs a lot of fixing up.
Or
right?
or they might see all that. Let's say they are in that West Palm area, and I'm just using that because I know the lot size break points and
Mhm.
everything. And they're on a 5,000 square foot lot, and they see all these things going on around them, and they think, oh, somebody's going to throw a nice big house on here. No, because that lot's only 5,000 square foot. No builder wants it.
Right.
Just like what happened with me with that couple. So the other thing I wanted to bring up, and this is just a little thing, we were talking about future, and I keep saying that like out in that Westlake Arden area that's being built out there, eventually that's all going to be Weston, right? Like Southwest Broward County or Central West Broward County. Weston, WSTON, not Weston, the city, WSTIN up here.
Right.
But that whole area is going to be total suburbia mayhem, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's got nowhere else to go.
Yeah, and it is probably going to take 20 years or something, but that's where we're heading right now. We're just starting to open up a lot of ag land that they swore in the 1990s and early 2000s they were never going to open up, and now they're going to open it up. Wahlberg just bought a
Yeah, I saw that,
$37 million
yeah.
property west of the Turnpike in Delray. It's like, it's coming, right? It's coming. So, one of the things I was saying to AJ is like, I was driving around in the acreage area and I was seeing how that you can drive streets and see the history of what's happening in that whole area. And I said, are we getting to the point now? Because they are building $3 to $5 million estates in those lots out there.
That's crazy.
And the thing is that I'm wondering if it's smart to buy land cheap right now. And I'm putting cheap in quotes because back, you used to pay 35 and now you're paying 175 to 250. But buy land cheap or buy a really beat up house, try to fix it up good enough to rent it out for a while. You're not really making maybe that much money, but eventually that it's going to be a teardown and they're going to sell it as a teardown.
And I
then
said,
AJ
no,
AJ
that's
said-
not happening.
Yeah, AJ
I don't see that.
And the reason why, you had a really good reason. Tell me why you thought why, which made sense.
Well, I don't remember what I told you,
Too
but
much land. There's too
Right,
much
there's still
land
too
out
much
there. Too
vacant
much
land.
availability. The
Yeah.
problem is east. There's no land. That's why everything's going so high. AJ
But-
found one.
yeah. And then I think that day or the next day, I was writing an appraisal and I ran into a house because I was doing a new construction appraisal. And one of my comps, brand new house, lo and behold, they bought it with an old house on it, tore it down.
And they're putting on an estate. So,
So I
that's
had
even
to let
happening
him
out
know
there.
he was right.
Yeah. So all those people had the 1970 houses out there that are old as dirt and haven't really fixed them up. You might become an instant millionaire soon.
Well, it's also, there's still land out there, but most of the undeveloped lots out there, there's a reason they're not developed. They're low. It costs a lot of fill, maybe $50,000, $80,000 to get it into good shape. If there's a house there, it's probably already been filled pretty good, got a decent elevation.
Yeah. It sounds like an amazing opportunity for so many, but I'll tell you, it is the opposite end of the spectrum of the affordability that we're
depressing.
looking
It's
for.
so
Right.
depressing.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know what? It's not depressing. It's amazing. But if you're like, man, I'm trying to buy a home, and you're like, whew, this is getting rougher and rougher.
I'm going out and help somebody find a $150,000 home today. So it's at all price points. There's a home for everybody.
They're there.
Yep.
You just have to work.
You have
with
to
the right
work really
people.
hard to find
You do. Yeah. It's just not going to drop in your lap more times than not. We hear the music. That means that unfortunately we're done with our time on a Saturday. But you always have access to this entire team, a team of pros, experts in their field. You get a lot of insight into the expertise on a Saturday as we give you some infotainment. But if you've ever bought a home, sold a home, you've dealt with anybody on this team, you understand the professionalism and the remarkable guidance that you get. You're a click away. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Remember, on Facebook and YouTube, consume away. Continue to hit the share and like button. We thank you very much. You never know, because you can be really changing somebody's life by hitting that share button. You could. They might even thank you later. I'll say thank you to Ross Camaranetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. Thanks for all your awesomeness, and I hope you reach your goal very soon.
Thank you. Thank
sometime this year at least.
you. Yeah. And you're very
I
welcome.
hope he adjusts it up.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to raise this goal.
Yeah,
We're
that'd be
gonna- we're
awesome
gonna-
Yeah, that'd be great.
Trying to save $500,000
for our
for
customers.
the
yeah.
customers that are just reaching out to see if they can save money on their property insurance. Do it on your auto insurance as well. Thank you to AJ Holman, experienceappraisers.com. Always appreciate your time and your insight. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Jimothy, thank you for everything.
Thank you, Johnny, Jim, AJ, Ross. Always a pleasure.
And Jim DePolo with the Florida Home Pros team. Thank you for everything always. And good luck on your outings today.
Yes, thank you, Josh. I'm heading up there. Let's go find your home.
LFG. Good luck, Josh. Thanks for being with us always. We'll be back next Saturday. We invite you to stick around with the locker room. We're going to squeeze out a sports show. I bet we talk a little bit about Super Bowl.
Nah.
What's that?
It'll come up, I'm sure, once or twice. Probably be mostly Daytona 500 talk.
Oh,
And Olympics, lots of Olympic talk, knowing Greek.
Of course.
We'll be back next Saturday. 2 more hours of infotainment, Florida Talk Real Estate style, right here on Real Radio.